Timmy Rebowe, as we get set for the 2023 football season, it's summer. We're getting ready for for camps to open up. You just finished with the Manning Passing Academy. What did the Manning Passing Academy mean to this program and the brand new covered practice facility here at Nicholls?
We love it every year. The coaches it brings on the campus, 1,200 student athletes running all over in the dorms, in the cafeteria, seeing our facilities, football like it's supposed to be. We love having the Mannings here. When you look at the camps and what they do and what the covered practice facility provided by the Shaw Group and the Mannings, it's just going to be a big, big asset to our program and to the whole community.
Well, as we look at this upcoming football season, you have a loaded schedule. Goodness gracious. Just talk about what you've got.
Well, listen, schedules are made so far in advance, years out. So the game that we're going to play, Sacramento State, happen to have a really, really good year this year. They're coming off of a coaching change. So we're getting them down here in South Louisiana, and we'll be prepared for them. And then you look at, we're going to always have to play some FBS schools. And this year, TCU happened to be playing for the national championship last year, but that game was scheduled 5-6 years ago. And then we picked up Tulane, who, oh, by the way, is coming off one of their best years with Willie Fritz and finished in the top 10. But, our players will be prepared. And what we got to do is the old coach approach is we got to play them one game at a time. Don't get too far ahead of ourselves. And then hopefully we can prepare for our conference schedule.
Wait a minute. You've also got 3 regular other teams on your schedule that were in the playoffs last year, too.
Yeah, when you look at Southeastern, what they did, UIW, and then Southeast Missouri is another team that we went there last year. We didn't fare very well, and hopefully we'll get them on our home turf and do a little better this year.
Hey, if I'm sitting in your locker room, I'm going, boy, Coach, I love the challenge, but who made this schedule?
No, we joke about that all the time. It's part me, it's part athletic director, but it's also part the region, the area where we live. And, being FCS football, there's not a lot of teams for us to go out and play. There's the Southerns, the Gramblings, and the Texas Southerns, and we try to reach out to some of the schools in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, but there's just not a lot within driving distance we can get to. So scheduling, it's a whole art that you have to try to figure this thing out.
And one good thing, too, as we finish up on scheduling here is that this being one of the hottest summers we've had in a long, long time, and you can get a team into Thibodaux, especially in September, that's got to be a super advantage.
Yeah, I want to bring them all in here. We look back to the playoffs teams a couple of years ago when we went up north and played Eastern Washington. We'd like to get them in the heat over here and see what they can do, but they'll be prepared too. It gets hot. I know in SEMO it gets hot, but Sacramento State, hopefully the humidity will get to them a little bit.
So goes your quarterback usually, so goes the offense, and you've got a good JUCO transfer coming in that you're very excited about.
Yeah, Pat McQuaid was a guy who came in. We got him in January. He threw, I think, for over 3,000 yards last year at Mississippi Gulf Coast. He's come in and taken the leadership role in the spring. He participated as one of the counselors in the Manning Passing Academy, and he's had a really, really good summer. So he rallies the troops. He gets them going. He's very smart, and hopefully he'll do a good job for us.
I know every player will be positive, but talking to him at the Manning Passing Academy, he was very excited about the progress he made up to this point.
Yeah, but he prepares. He's the old gym rat, so to speak. He's a coach's son, so he knows what it takes. He's here every day. He's listening, he's learning, he's absorbing, he's being a sponge, and then he's getting the players around him. They go out and they throw every day, and that's very, very important in the summer.
A couple of other names that are going to be key for you, and let's talk a little bit about Spears at running back.
Yeah, I love Jalen Spears. I think he was on the edge to busting out at the end last year. He did a good job in the kick return game. We got to find ways to get him on the field. Another one had a good spring, a tremendous summer, and I think that kid's going to take off.
All of the area high schools have sent you great players, John Curtis included, including Colin Guggenheim. Talk a little bit about Colin and what he means to this program.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job. He went to the academy, he went to Army, decided to come and play here. He wanted to, and he's just been a big asset to our program and into the community, the things that he does. He's tough, he's hard-nosed, he's a leader, and we like to run the football.
Now, you're going to have to stop some teams or at least slow them down, especially when you get to some of those big FBS teams. Defensively, what's it look like for the Colonels?
I feel good about our defense. I thought they had a really, really good spring. We added – when we lost some players last year, we didn't play with a full linebacking crew last year. Our whole starting linebackers were out. On the good side of that, we got to play a bunch of young guys. So we have the returning starters from the year before who are now back. We had a really good spring. We added some transfers to the mix up front, and I love our young secondary, the way we got. So I think we're going to have a chance to be pretty good on the defensive side of the ball.
And special teams.
Yeah, Brian Wallace does a great job with special teams. We got our kicker back. We got our punter back. Such a big part. Again, we were talking about we have 72 guys returning from last year. A bunch of those guys played on special teams. So it's going to be a good they got their feet wet, so to speak, and ready to step into some other roles. So special teams are going to play a big part of this season.
Let's wrap it up with this one. As you look at conference play this year, how do you think the Colonels can stack up in a loaded conference?
Yeah, it's been good every year. You look at what the teams in Louisiana has done last year. You know, Northwestern had a good year. Southeastern did. Gary Goff at McNeese is doing a great job. On the flip side, the teams in Texas, we have 4 new coaches, which is kind of unheard of. All new coaches, so there's going to be some unknown. When you look at UIW, the great year that they had last year, but they have a new coaching staff. Commerce has one, Lamar, and so does Houston Christian. So there's going to be some unknowns, but we say it all the time, week in and week out in the Southern Conference, you better be ready to play.
Timmy Rebowe, thank you very much. Good luck on a great year.
Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it.